one too?
I think we have this one.
You're right.
There is a gray one in mine, in case we get fooled.
And it'll also pop up on the screen.
Cool. Yeah, I like to have the actual music screen.
I just,
Because I don't know these by heart yet, having not grown up in UU with them. Like, they are not ingrained in me.
when my mom was on hospice, she decided for whatever reason that she was going to play every hymn in both hymnals.
Yeah.
And she was really good. And then you're going to have to know all of these. I was like, thanks. I'm going to grab an order of service so I don't get lost.
Yeah, I grabbed one too.
It's one of those ones that sounds like a traditional hymn, but is in a range that everyone can sing. So I appreciate that. And I've heard it in so many different arrangements.
Yeah, I mean, that's what keeps it fresh, if you ask me. It's the same way every time. It gets so old.
Mom used to be with some of them, she's like, why does it have to be a dirge? I'm like, that's right.
I'm with your mom.
We want our spirituality and religiousness to be happy. Not that, sometimes we don't have sad songs. That's okay. Sad ones. That's all right. Those aspirational ones should be sounding aspirational.
Yep. No, I agree. Overall, so much of the tendency, especially the very old-fashioned white church hymns, they don't move me very much, if I'm being honest.
There's no new love.
Yeah. And I mean, my undergraduate degree is in classical folk performance, so I know how to do the old-fashioned stuff. But it's not what warms my heart. Yeah. Though you can take the old-fashioned stuff and
You can.
do it in an arrangement.
It shouldn't be like you're like in pre-commission.
Yeah. I think I told you that the music minister at my home church is
Yes.
very old-fashioned. It doesn't, I don't quite get it because he's a very good, like, classical jazz player too, but like, he has like a blockage against like spicing up and doing a more modern arrangement thing. More just like kind of goes through it. But
Like I keep thinking about Spirit of Life with like drums. Just like, I'm like, why couldn't we? What would be wrong with that? Then we could just sing it 20 times. Because people need to do that anyway.
I remember somebody fairly recently posting on the UUMA Facebook page about, there's something about, humorously about, the lesson I learned in church that I brought up that I didn't really like the mixed metaphors of that song. Like, I realized you're not allowed to say that.
Yeah, we're like, that's a sacred
Spirit
hymn.
of life.
Sacred
You
hymn.
can't, you just
I sing this song not to you, but for you, because I know this is the truth of who we all are. Take these words in. I am light, I am light. 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 I am not the things my family did. I am not the voices in my head. I am not the pieces of the brokenness inside. I am light. I'm not the mistakes that I have made or any of the things that cause me pain. I am not the pieces of the dreams I left behind. I am light. I am light. I am not the color of my eyes. I am not the skin on the outside. I am not my age. I am not my race. My soul inside is all light. Thank you. All light, yeah, yeah. I am divinity defined. I am the God on the inside. I am a star, a piece of it all. I am light. I sing this song.
Good morning. Good morning and welcome to UU Mount Airy. I am Shay, your summer minister. I'm filling in while Reverend McKinley is on vacation. My pronouns are she, her, and it is my honor to be co-leading our service today with our guest speaker, Jeff Labonde. And we want to give a big thank you to Anam for providing music today and for sharing his gifts, and to Nate, our interim music director, for their musical wisdom and guidance, to the restoration singers who will be sharing special music later on in the service, and to Mike for always doing our AV so impeccably. Yes. A few small announcements before we begin. We ask that you please silence any cell phones so that we may be as present as possible in this space. Restrooms are located at the rear of the sanctuary. You go down the stairs to the right, or you can take the mechanical lift to the left, and an usher can help you navigate either option. We are streaming live, and if you are joining us online, you can choose to toggle the closed captions by clicking the CC button at the bottom of your Zoom screen. Childcare is available if we have any kiddos here today. It's for toddlers and older children, and parents and guardians can meet up with their kids downstairs in the fellowship hall after the service. This is a UU congregation, which means we are people of many differences, different faith traditions, different racial identities, different gender expressions, and all different ways of moving in and showing up in the world. And we are a people of togetherness who make covenant promises to be together and to act with love for transformation, liberation, and healing. Today's service is about exploring the transformative journey of embracing life's contradictions and the need to continually grow and evolve during the unfolding of life. It's about remaining curious, inviting ourselves to rest in the questions and to embody and anchor ourselves in love, empathy, resilience, and justice as individuals and a vibrant community in an ongoing commitment to personal and collective growth. May our gratitude for this time together and our intentions to build beloved community help us embrace one another and nurture wholeness in ourselves and our world this morning. Come, let us worship together. In UU congregations, we light a chalice to celebrate our coming together in love, to mark the sacred space and time of our community, and invite spirit into our lives. We invite you to light a candle wherever you are today and read along with us here in the sanctuary. And today, we're going to do something a little different as we read our chalice lighting words by Craig Rowland so that we may gift ourselves the opportunity of being both a sharer and a listener. So this is how it's going to be done. I am going to lead those folks sitting on the left side of the sanctuary in reading the first 4 couplets of our chalice lighting. And then Jeff is going to lead those sitting on the right side. See how quickly I was able to do that? See, that's where dyslexia is really good. On the right side in reading the next 4 couplets. And then we're going to read the last 4 lines together. But before we do that, we're just going to take a moment to get even deeper into this sacred space we share together. So as you feel comfortable, I'm going to ask you either to put your hand across your heart or on your knees if you'd like to do that better. And we're gently going to tap. Just give yourself a little pat and try to slow the rhythm down a little bit. Pat, 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 pat. So that as we speak the words, we get to sit and rest in them. So for those who are sitting on the left side, I invite you to read these words with me. At home, you can choose whichever you'd like. I breathe in the warmth of this light, its glow filling the spaces where fear and doubt reside. I breathe out the tension I carry. I release what no longer serves me. I breathe in the strength of our community, a sanctuary of diverse voices and shared purpose. I breathe out the urge to go it alone. I embrace the power of togetherness.
Along with me. I breathe in the courage to speak truth, even when it trembles on my lips. I breathe out the silence that holds me back. I make space for honesty and justice. I breathe in the hope of transformation, knowing we are here to build and heal. I breathe out despair, trusting that change is born in small acts of love.
As we light this chalice, may each breath remind us of the sacred rhythm of life, the pulse of creation, and the power we hold to shape the world around us. Thank you. Our opening hymn is number 1029, Love knocks and waits for us to hear. Please rise in body or spirit and find the lyrics either in the gray hymnal or you can read it on the screen behind me. Part of our being a community is learning to share the authentic and vulnerable parts of ourselves with others, to see and be seen, to know and be known, all of which helps to build this congregation into beloved community. We invite you to share what's going on in your life, to name your feelings and the people in your lives who are in need of prayer, good energy, best wishes, and other support. We invite you to get into your body and investigate what emotions you're experiencing, to share them as you feel called so we can help one another hold our joys, our grief, our in-between feelings. We build community by celebrating our good things, mourning our troubles, taking risks, and listening deeply. For online sharing, I invite you who are in Zoom to share what you're feeling this week and to lift up the names of those about whom you are thinking in the chat. For those in the sanctuary, we ask that you come up one at a time by the side aisle to pick up a stone or stones from the basket, infuse or charge it with your joy or sorrow, and place it in the bowl of water where its energy will ripple out to be held by all of us. If you'd like to share something, please speak directly into the microphone and be mindful that we are broadcasting to the internet. So when it's out there, it's out there. All are welcome to participate in any of these ways. And for those who have gathered virtually, Jeff will be adding stones on your behalf, and Anam will provide contemplative music to hold our joys and sorrows together. The sacred space of deep sharing is open.
Good morning, I'm Deb. So I have two things. One is a real joy, which is that some of you know Dr. Ione Vargas, and I'm very honored to share a birthday with her, July 19th. But unlike her, I'm not turning 95. So, not yet. But I have a card for her, and so anyone who wants to just write a greeting on it afterwards in coffee hour. And a concern, of course, is that our food pantry is seeing more and more people who are in desperate need. And this morning when I got here, there was a family with small children. That's why I put a number of rocks in there for each of them, who've been living in their car. And we don't have enough food, especially bread and milk and eggs are hard to get. So I'm just reminding folks there's a box up here where you can put stuff straight in the fridge, but thank you.
Hi, I'm Sharon. I guess many of you know by now, but I was I was not here last weekend because I was first in Portland and then I was in Hood River and at Hood Mountain, and my daughter got married, and they just bought a house and they're pregnant and they're going to have a baby in August, so they're trying to get it all done in a few months. Good luck. But it was wonderful because I hadn't met anybody on his side of the family, and there was a lot of really wonderful people to meet. And their minister was a UU minister, Greg, I can't remember his last name, but he's from this area, now lives in Hawaii. He said to say hi to everybody. And my best friend from college and her husband were invited to come, and that meant so much to me because I don't get to see them often. And we went on a couple of really gorgeous hikes to see waterfalls. So.
Good morning. Can you hear me? Yeah, I was at a conference recently, and we have several Canadian members, and this talk about making Canada the 51st state, and we were talking about it, and it really was very embarrassing, and I think was the first time in my life I really felt ashamed to be an American. And they basically said, if he does anything, we're ready for him, and he better not do anything. So that's what happened. It was,
Hi, my name is Leslie. You didn't see me the month of June. It was a very busy month. Summer is flying by, but had some memorable moments and experience in the month of June. First, my grandson turned 1. Can you believe it? Like a whole year has gone by. It's crazy. Rah. And my mother turned 95. Yeah, it's fabulous, isn't it? But yeah.
I'm Sandy. My granddaughter still hasn't found a job that'll pay well, so I hope, start hoping for her. It's not easy anymore in California. So I just wanted to ask some help for some tall people to come over and move a couple of heavy computer accessories, and also so I can get at the last boxes that I need to open. There's 6 boxes I can't get at. So it really is important that I get somebody who's pretty tall, and that would be very nice this coming week. So thank you very much for doing everything you possibly can to help people here, and I think that is one reason why I keep coming back.
Hi, I'm Fern. This week, we have an opportunity, and I know when I get bent out of shape or upset with current times, it helps me to look back and think about our ancestors. This Thursday is the 5th anniversary of the death of Representative John Lewis. There are big events going on around Philadelphia, but we here are committing our vigil from 6 to 7, and we welcome anyone. We'll do it our usual way, which is to be outside in the street side from 6 to 6:30, and then from 6:30 to 7, we will meet in Hale Lounge. You are welcome to join us by internet as well. We're hoping to share stories and favorite quotes and connections to John Lewis to keep our memories strong. Yes? Thursday. Our vigil is Thursday, every Thursday, 6 to 7. Thank you.
Hi, everyone, and thanks, Fern, for some advice in living in these surreal times. You know, I'll take everything I can get. Can everybody hear me? Yeah, okay. Unfortunately, I have to share a sorrow from one of our members. I called Barbara Macemore yesterday because she's on my hospitality team, and she told me that her stepson, who she's known for practically his entire life, died, was killed in a car accident on Friday night. Apparently, his car, about 12:30 a.m., went off the side and into a ditch, flipped over a few times, and that was it. The cops came to her house at 4 a.m. So, you know, I don't know what to say. I really, it's just so shocking. And I want to say also, some of you may remember, this isn't the first time that lightning has struck. The very first time I met Barbara in this church was when she said that another of her sons had committed suicide, her own, you know. So the whole family needs lots and lots of thoughts and love and prayers. I put in 5 stones for the 5 most immediate members. And I'll say one thing else too. I knew this person really pretty well. Believe it or not, he used to live upstairs in the place before the current tenant of one who died. And he was the nicest guy. He only lived there for a couple of years. What I remember most about him was that he was an incredible carpenter. And he would fix things, and all on his own, he built a beautiful railing for the 3rd floor tenant who's kind of disabled, so she could get up to her apartment safely. And that's the kind of thing he did, and other things. He just was you know, a good guy. So I was shocked. I'll miss him. Wanted to let you know. So, okay.
Jeff, would you please add some stones for the folks who are online? And then a final stone for all those joys and sorrows not shared out loud but held in the sacred quiet of our hearts. Thank you. Let's take a moment to breathe deeply and to enter into the spirit of prayer. Spirit of life, divine known by many names and no name. In this sacred hour, we lift up the moments that burden our hearts so that the love of this community may be like a balm to our being, easing our worry, our sorrow, if only for a moment. We lift up the joys that touch our souls so that they may bring a moment of joy to others, and so that we may add to the collective joy of this community. In this holy hour, we experience how life holds all that is, all that was, and all that has yet to be. How the love of this beloved community holds us, nurtures us, celebrates, and sustains us now and beyond. Blessed be and amen. So now is the time when we collect our offering of financial resources for the good of the community. We know there are many ways to give back to this congregation, and we encourage you to find a way that works for you. For the financial support, your money or checks put in the plate for today will be used to fund everyday operation of this congregation. Any pocket change or other money that you designate for change online or by putting them in the white envelopes in the pews will be sent to this month's selected Change for Change organization, the Unitarian Universalist Service Committee. As they share on their website, UUSC is a non-sectarian organization advancing human rights and social justice in the United States and around the world. For more than 80 years, UUSC has engaged people of faith and conscience in responding to vital human rights crises around the world. More info is on your screen about how to give online, and anyone can use the mobile app Vanco Mobile. Please know that if this is your first time with us, there's no expectation that you give anything other than a contact form or share with us how you found us and how we can support you. The offering will now be gratefully accepted.
I'm used to having to raise the mic. From Parker J. Palmer's Let Your Life Speak. Before I can tell my life what I want to do with it, I must listen to my life telling me who I am. I must listen for the truth at the core of my being, even as I listen to the truth the world shouts at me. I must listen to my life and try to understand what it is truly about, quite apart from what I'd like it to be about. My life is not only my strengths and my virtues, it is also about my limits and liabilities. If I am to let my life speak things I want to hear, things I would gladly tell others, I must also let it speak things I do not want to hear and would never tell anyone else. So good morning. It's an honor to be here with you. On my journey to ministry, I've worked as a church music director for much of my adult life. So it's still a little different for me to be behind the pulpit. To be honest, other than my home congregation, this is my first official UU preaching gig. Do we call them gigs? Is that? Though the truth is, if you ask my family, my wife is back there, they'll probably tell you I preach about 3 sermons a day, give or take. My overall goal today is to share some things about my life experiences in ministry and trauma, and relate them to the universal human experience of inevitable change, past, present, future. And I hope to convey the sentiment expressed by social justice activist Sophia Bush, who said, "You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress simultaneously." Can we take a breath for a second and let that digest? You are allowed to be both a masterpiece and a work in progress. I don't know about you, but I find that very comforting. About 27 years ago, while I was in music school, I began working as a music minister at a conservative evangelical church. The music program was large and vibrant, including a traditional service and a contemporary one. Each year, I wrote and directed a musical that was performed in the spring by about 100 kids and young adults. The debut musical I wrote was about the life of Jesus Christ, hardly subtle, but I was 18 and it was pretty good. Then came Jonah, the whale-sized drama, followed by Noah's aquatic saga. You could say I started with the greatest hits. Now, I need to go back just a couple more years because before that, there's a twist. I actually wasn't raised in any church at all, not even close. I attended, if I remember right, maybe 3 Boy Scout Sundays that I had to go to in my childhood. My parents raised me with fairly straightforward secular humanism, Carl Sagan over catechism. But then in my rebellious late teenage years, I met a girl. She was a missionary kid recently moved from far away and cast as the angelic heroine in our high school musical, while I played the brooding villain. A match made in heaven, or so I thought. So head over heels, I dove into born-again Christianity, my ultimate act of teen rebellion. What better way to shock my parents than with conversion invitationals and baptismal vows? So for myself, a wide-eyed newcomer at the time, the biblical stories of Jesus and Jonah and Noah, they felt fresh for a few years at least. But the human journey, like any good story, refuses to stay static. Mine was no exception. My earlier musicals wrapped biblical tales in bright, shiny bows. But by a few years later, I wrote my final one in that context, not based on a biblical story, but rather based on my experiences with conservative Christianity. It was entitled, "The Things That Go Unsaid." It was set in a youth choir, conveniently. The presentation was veiled with innocence, but my intentions were somewhat subversive. I aimed to give voice to the secrets we'd been trained to swallow in that context. The musical didn't tug at religion's tidy wrappings, it consciously tore them open, revealing life's messy contradictions. The kids would sing a song followed by a scene about family or school or church. In one scene, a young girl was crying in her bedroom as her parents, respected elders from the church, screamed at each other off stage like they did almost every night. Another song, and then a teenage choir member spoke with a friend about how boring the church hymns were and how much more they liked Nirvana, keeping it hidden under their bed so they didn't get in trouble. As you might imagine, this musical received mixed reviews at best, but at that point of my journey, I was well on my way to a different stage of life. I had been doing correspondence seminary courses for a couple of years, and I would shortly be telling the church that I was moving to Boston to work full-time on my Master of Divinity degree. When I attended Gordon Conwell, a conservative seminary where doubt was framed as danger, I did all the required coursework, but 2 of the electives really stuck with me. The first was called Critiques of Christianity, Sounded good, maybe self-reflective. But really, it was essentially preparation for interactions with intelligent thinkers and instructions on how to bring them back into the fold. We read Freud, Nietzsche, Marx, and my favorite, John Hicks, God Has Many Names. The class did not effectively teach me to argue. Rather, I found myself in agreement with the critiques more often than not. By the semester's end, I had unknowingly converted to universalism. I didn't know the name for it yet, but I just knew I had become a heretic in sheep's clothing. The second course that I'll never forget was called Religion in American Public Life. It was at Harvard Divinity, a close friend of Unitarian Universalism. There, the professor, a scholar of religion's messy dance with power, he issued a warning that I have never forgotten. I'm paraphrasing, of course, but it was something like this. Walk 2 blocks away to the marketing department. They're studying the same icons we are. Jesus, Gandhi, MLK, and Hitler. Their goal isn't wisdom, it's weaponizing charisma to sell us what we don't need. Brand loyalty masquerading as belonging, and politics that preys on fear. 20 years later, his words feel less like prophecy and more like an American autopsy. Religion reduced to a tool of manipulation, spirituality commodified. By the time I graduated, I was completely disillusioned and done with formal religion of any kind. I made a conscious decision to stop preaching and go searching, not so much for answers, but for better questions. The well-known quote from Rainer Marie Rilke became my creed. Be patient toward all that is unsolved in your heart, and try to love the questions themselves, like locked rooms and like books that are now written in a very foreign tongue. Do not now seek the answers which cannot be given to you because you would not be able to live them. And the point is to live everything. Live the questions now, and perhaps you will then gradually, without noticing it, live along some distant day into the answer. Little did I know at that time, but my body and mind would soon enroll me in a master class in living those questions. So much easier said than done. You see, I have epilepsy. I know that now, but I didn't know it then. During seminary, my focal aware seizures intensified, though I didn't yet have any idea what they were. These days, I call them my trips to Wonderland, which is somewhat literal. You see, the author Lewis Carroll had epilepsy like mine, and that is what his self-called greatest tale is based on. Me and Alice are old friends. For me, these conscious, beautiful, malfunctioning experiences come with surges of euphoria, this sense that some cosmic secret hovered just beyond my grasp, and I couldn't quite put it into words. I mistook these epileptic events for transcendence and wellness and wholeness. Neither were real, but they were real to me, carving a path that no one would choose to follow. The following 15 years became my unwitting teachers, the gift I almost asked for, as I like to call them these days. Sometimes welcoming, opening up, and even in some ways loving life's most profound challenges is the only way to the other side of them. I remember a wild, blurry ambulance ride that finally came with a diagnosis. My seizures were getting worse and more frequent. I tried years of medications that didn't work, with side effects I couldn't handle. Then, with just a little hope remaining, brain surgery was the roll of the dice that I had left. Over 2.5 years, I had 4 surgeries where they removed about 2 golf balls of my brain, not tumors, And they implanted a device which has been around for about a decade now called a responsive neurostimulator. That's the fancy neurologist way of saying they turned me into a cyborg. It's funny because it's true. It's like a pacemaker that also learns. I literally wave a wand over my head every day over the implanted device. It's straight up out of Star Trek. And that downloads my brain info every morning, and I send it to an AI that learns from my brain and everybody else on the planet who has one. And it learns how to help me more every day. During my long recovery time, my home Unitarian Universalist community, the UU Church of Delaware County, not far away, they carried me through rewiring more than neurons. I had space to rebuild not only how I think, but what I think. Why? Their unconditional support created a place where my faith, not so much a faith in any particular story, but my faith in the story of humans itself and our remarkable, curious, mysteriously beautiful love alongside life's inevitable suffering and loss, maybe, just maybe that's worth believing in. Meanwhile, as I went through this 15-year wild ride, our whole society's shared language was deeply fracturing. Our whole world. Social media, this era's Tower of Babel, turned dialogue into algorithms of outrage, profit over people, clicks instead of compassion. My mind's slow healing now mirrored a societal cry. How do we mend what's so deeply broken? This is a significant part of why I chose to return to formal religion and ministry, its relationships and its communities, shared mythologies, old and new, and yet to be written. I found a spiritual practice spacious enough for my questions and sturdy enough for our collective storms. Not a destination, but a journey we take together, transforming, stumbling, reaching again and again. Watching others go through their own unraveling and rebirths, trusting that the meaning emerges in the walking itself. Unlike more rigid religious traditions, Unitarian Universalism doesn't ask us to trade curiosity for certainty. Our transformation thrives on questioning assumptions, on chasing perspectives that might even unsettle us. But let's be honest, even our beautiful ideals deserve some scrutiny, don't they? The norms of any group, especially when religion gets involved, they tend to create patterns of what we can and can't say, how we should or shouldn't think, act, or speak. What if there was a course called Critiques of Unitarian Universalism? I know I'm risking some offense, but stay with me. This is what the preacher's supposed to do, right? I have 3 closely related questions I want to ask, and perhaps we could live our way into the answers together. Question 1. What things that go unsaid might exist in our own Unitarian Universalist world? Between you and me, I'm already working on a sequel. We are human after all, and even here with our beautiful values, L Jet Pig at the helm, we risk trading one set of taboos for another. Chapter 2 of the Tao Te Ching begins with, when people see some things as beautiful, other things become ugly. When people see some things as good, other things become bad. Thinking in dichotomies is divisive by its nature, and it almost always blinds us to nuances and complexities and the validity of the other. In a time of calculated polarization, we must be wary of such things, lest we become well-intentioned participants. Question 2. Can our symbols, our traditions, our practices, can they transcend the us versus them? It's a tricky question in our time and place, and in fact, in every time and place.
To reference the activist Timothy Snyder's book On Tyranny, 20 Lessons for the 20th Century, which he wrote in 2017 and has updated recently. He wrote, "For resistance to succeed, two boundaries must be crossed. First, ideas about change must engage people of various backgrounds who do not agree about everything. Second, people must find themselves in places that are not their homes and among groups who were not previously their friends. For social justice of any kind to realistically occur, a UU imperative, we need to heed Snyder's advice." Question 3. Given the calculated, oligarchy-funded polarization of modern American culture, how might the rest of us bridge divides rather than amplify them? Having now lived personally on both dichotomous poles, not the North and the South, but rather what we call the right and the left, my experience tells me that these differences are real, but I deeply believe they are also deliberately emphasized by the powers that do not want us to find common ground. In this age of uncertainty, how do we honor our values of an interdependent web of all existence, ensuring that our ideas of justice, equity, and love at the center genuinely reach beyond the familiar boundaries, even to those who seem worlds apart? As Martin Luther King Jr. put it, love is the only force capable of transforming an enemy into a friend. Or perhaps you remember the wording from our opening hymn. Love offers life in spite of foes who threaten and condemn. Embracing enemies, love goes the second mile with them. And of course, let us all remember, after all, that we definitely like our hymns better than Nirvana, right? But seriously, as we sing at the end of our service, with all of our voices and all of our visions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me? Blessed be.
Many good souls have fought and died, so we could sing here side by side. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. When the day is clear, we don't have to live in fear. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on. Hold on. Hold on. Keep your eyes on the prize. Hold on.
Let's take a moment to breathe in all that power and joy and resilience. And let's not forget the importance ever of song. As we get ready to extinguish our chalice and end our time together this morning, please remember to stick around for announcements in the slides and downstairs during our lemonade and cookie hour. Folks on Zoom are invited to check in with each other afterwards. For more information on what's going on in the life of this congregation, you can check out the weekly newsletter that comes out on Thursdays, or you can peruse the insert in your order of service. And finally, check out our website and social media pages for more important updates. The words to extinguish our chalice are by Maddie, do you know how to pronounce her name? Stephanus. Thank you, Stephantus. Please read them aloud with Jeff, and I will extinguish the chalice.
We extinguishing this flame, but we keep its light on our hearts, with its message of love and justice, taking it outside these walls to the world we live in, until we are together again.
So please rise in body or spirit and join us in singing our closing hymn, number 1023, in the teal hymnal, Building Bridges. You can even move a little bit if you'd like to, and Nate is going to be leading us.
As you'll see, this is a round. So if you want to sing the round, we'll sing it all together once, and then we'll sing it through a couple of times. If you want to sing the round or the canon, when we get to the number 2 there in the second line, you'll just go back to the beginning and then carry that on through. All right? Or if you just want to stick with me and sing the melody, that's wonderful too. Go ahead and give us whatever you'd like to as an intro. We'll come in. Building bridges between our divisions, I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges between our divisions, I'm building bridges. Reach out to me. Building bridges between our divisions. I reach out to you. Will you reach out to me with all of our voices and all of our visions? Friends, we could make such sweet harmony. Building bridges such sweet harmony. Last line. Friends, we could make such sweet harmony.
May your embrace be for the sacred, the unfinishedness of things. May your heart be prepared to listen to the quiet truths within. May your love be a bridge between the clamors and the chorus. May your justice hum the tune which everyone can know. Go in peace, go in love. Blessed be.
Come gather round, people, wherever you roam, and admit that the waters around you have grown. Accept it, this soon you'll be drenched to the bone. If your time to you is worth saving, then you better start swimming or you'll sink like a stone. For the times, they are a-changing. All you writers and critics who prophesize with your pen, hey, keep your eyes wide, the chance won't come again. And don't speak too soon, for the wheel's still in spin. And there's no telling who that it's naming. For the loser right now might be later to win. All the times they are changing. Come you senators and congressmen, please heed the call. Don't you stand in your doorway, don't lock up the hall. For he who gets hurt will be he who has stalled. And that battle outside that's raging will soon be rattling your windows and shaking your walls. For the times they are changing. All you mothers and fathers from across the land, hey, don't criticize what you can't understand. Your sons and your daughters are beyond your command, and your old road is rapidly aging. Come on, get out of the new one if you cannot lend your hand. The times, they are changing. Oh, the line it is drawn and the curse it is cast. The first one right now might later be last, just as the present will soon be the past. And the order is rapidly fading. All the slow one right now might later be fast. Yeah, the times they are changing. The times they are changing. Come gather.
Cookies and lemonade, everybody. Stimulating conversation.